County Commission. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Okay. I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes, vouchers, and payroll docket.
I make a motion to approve the minutes, vouchers, and the payroll docket.
I second that.
All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
So passed. Okay, we're gonna talk about the cumulative voting system fund or hearing, so.
Yes,
I'll let Heather-
so this is the same tax that was originally presented to the council. I found out after I presented that with Tabitha to council that it actually has to be approved by the commissioners. So we are presenting this again. This is the same rate, everything, and it has been advertised twice in the local paper. We do have to have this approved to start collecting these funds for next year's tax cycle. We would have to have them approved by the end of the month. So that was the importance of getting that on today's agenda. This fund has been inactive since 2006. We have not collected any tax revenue at that point. The balance then had been used for some updates along the way. And I think maybe Rainy Day had paid for some of the updates since then. But it's really important to have this maintenance fund set up to continue the integrity of the voting system. So we did propose this rate for right now, and once it is built up, we would recommend then cutting it down to about half, but never completely shutting off the flow to this fund, so that we wouldn't have to have as much of a burden to the taxpayers at that time for the next
Could
update.
that be something like maybe a cap, when you reach that amount, then you can,
Right,
till it goes
so,
down again, and you bring it back up, as far as changing the amount?
right, so we can
Ceiling.
revisit it every year as that amount comes in and, just watch what revenue comes in and keep a good eye on it. For instance, the cost, Tabitha gave me, if they were to update their 100 voting machines, it would be a cost of $390,000 if they did that all at once. So it would be best to get that in more of a rotation so that it's not such a cost burden to everyone.
And that's not including the new fancy printers.
No,
that we
the
have to have
printers
now
are an
either.
additional 180,000.
Yes, yes, and they look like a.
Yeah,
Yeah, spaceship.
so, I don't know, I feel like it's important for the voting, the election process to have this.
Thank you for explaining that.
You're welcome.
Okay. That's your, probably read your thoughts on it, gentlemen.
I mean, I can,
You just have to read it one time because it's advertised 2 separate times before the public meeting. So it doesn't require additional readings.
Okay. I'll read it. This is the 2023-006 ordinance establishing cumulative voting system fund under Indiana Code 311-6. Be it resolved by the County Commissioners, Jefferson County, Indiana, that a need now exists for the establishment of a cumulative voting system fund for the following purposes: for all uses as set out in Indiana Code 3-11-6. Be it further resolved that this board will adhere to the provisions of Indiana Code 3-11-6. The proposed fund will not exceed 0.013 on each $100 of assessed valuation. Said tax rate will be levied beginning with taxes for 2023 payable 2024. Be it further resolved that proofs of publication of the public hearing held on the 18th day of May 2023, and a certified copy of this ordinance resolution shall be submitted to the Department of Local Government Finance of the state of Indiana as provided by law. This cumulative fund is subject to the approval of the Department of Local Government Finance, duly adopted by the following voted members, said county commissioners, 18th day of May 2023. So I guess, do we have a motion to approve or?
Well, I mean, I think we need to have some fun to take, I mean, especially with concerns that there have been over the last several years on election security, so I think there's something that we need to take seriously, so I move that we approve the ordinance establishing the cumulative voting system fund, ordinance 2023-006.
I second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion coming before the board? If not, all those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none. Okay.
Okay. My next item is I have sent you a copy of a LAO proposal contract. Myself and the treasurer, Megan Hopkins, has done a lot of research on upgrading our financial software. They are kind of the front runner in financial services for government units in Indiana. And we highly recommend, and we would appreciate your support in moving forward with switching to LAO. They offer a lot of services that we do not receive right now. And actually their annual maintenance fee is actually less than the maintenance fee that we're paying right now. So we will have the conversion cost, which is divided out amongst the 3 years. And then on the 3rd year, we would receive a $15,000 discount if we committed by the end of this month. From working with State Board of Accounts, I kind of asked them for their feel on it, and they approve of their system, and they are not going to say that they prefer it, but they do like the reports that come out. It will save on auditing time. As we all know, audits are expensive, and the more time we save, the cheaper the audit will be. So there's definitely cost savings within other business that we do if we go to a
So
program.
this not only enhances your office, it enhances Megan's as well.
Yes, and it
It's kind of
actually will
twofold.
enhance HR as well, because as of right now, we do not have an HR module for financials. And this actually comes, the suite includes a module for HR. So Heather will actually have a software that she'll be able to use too.
So it's actually threefold then.
It's threefold. I have ran everything by Pat, and the only thing that he said, which I think it's because they bill 6 months at a time for their support, they do have 150-day cancellation or termination of a contract notice instead of 30 days like most people. But with financials, you wouldn't want to do too short, depending on your
Mhm.
what cycle you are in finance. I have also presented to the council, and the council approved the funding for this if the contract was approved.
This include all licensing and all that?
Mhm.
Okay. So that didn't raise its ugly head on us later.
No, and actually, so this currently, when offices need transaction histories and maybe they want a report that shows specific things for their accounts, we have to kind of do that. And everyone will have a license in their office where they can log in and actually pull those reports anytime they need it. So if it's claims week and we are strapped and we don't have time to pull that immediately for them, they will actually be able to log in and receive that as soon as they want it. So I think it's going to be, a great thing for them.
We have 11 jobs. They have 10 jobs per month. It's the easy hire. Is it hard hire? And so it's. I just wanted to, right, you know, it's funny that they, 10's a good number. We'll put 10. So.
Thoughts, gentlemen?
Okay, it's. With the recommendation, but the non-recommendation from the State Board of Accounts and the use that it's getting throughout the state. Had enough people try it out that didn't like it, we know that, so. Good thing. So, we're gonna go ahead and approve the contract.
Okay,
So, I mean, we approve the contract with, I would say low, but it's Lau Associates. For their financial services. 3 years, is that the 3-year contract?
Yeah, 3-year contract for the, conversion. And then. I'll do the yearly amount on there for our.
Well, I think you've done your research. I second.
okay, I have a motion and a second to accept Low Associates for our governmental offices. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. And then I do have one last thing, and, this is at no cost to the county. SRI is we've been a longtime client of SRI. They do all of our tax sales and our sheriff sales, and this year they, are increasing their fee per parcel for a tax sale. This is a fee that is charged to the parcel that is delinquent. So the county is not responsible for paying this fee. It would actually be the person that pays the delinquent taxes, whether it is someone buying on tax as a tax sale buyer, or if it's the owner redeeming the property. So the fee has been $100 per parcel for many years, as long as I can remember, and now it will be $125 per parcel. And that's to cover the costs of the legal advertising and all of the certified mailings that they have to send out as part of the tax sale.
Didn't you say that the 25 increase would be on the delinquent?
Yeah, it's to
Taxpayer.
the delinquent taxpayer. It's
Okay.
not a cost to the county.
Okay. It's basically just an update. Okay. Okay, that being said, I would entertain a motion to approve the tax sales services support addendum from SRI.
I move we approve the tax sales services support addendum with SRI to increase the fee, property owner, parcel owner fee to $125 per parcel from $100.
I second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Motion carries. Okay, Mr. Phillips.
Good evening. Since it says on here, they award the Cold Patch Recycling Project, I'll start with that. We did open the bids today at the Jefferson County Highway for the Cold Central Plant Recycling Project. We had 2 bidders. There was 3 of them that took plans. two bidders did show up to participate in the bid. All Stars bid was $730,737.20. And Dave O'Meara Contracting was the other bid, and their bid was $764,000, exactly. $764,000 even. The engineers did look over the documents, everything was in place, and they do recommend going ahead and awarding that to All Star Paving. With your all's blessing, we'll keep that project rolling and see where we can get out there and improve some more roads.
Roll on.
Sounds good. I make a motion, make a motion, we award the cold patch recycling to All Star Paving.
I second that.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by aye.
Thank you, gentlemen. The other thing, I'll update and I'll grab some additional signatures here after the meeting. We do have our State Board of Accounts. The annual reports have been submitted to Purdue, and then Purdue actually submits those on to State Board of Accounts and all that good stuff. So we just need signatures for that after they get submitted for us to keep on file. The only other critical thing that I should probably mention was we did have an accident with the bridge. Actually, I've been telling everybody my bridge got attacked by a car since it literally managed to completely miss the bridge and come in from the side of the bridge to take the guardrail off and push that into the bridge, and then hit the guardrail on the other side of the road and take out a utility pole. The process for that has to be turned into our bridge inspection team, and then they have to submit that to NDOT that goes to Federal Highway as a critical finding. Those have to be repaired within 30 days. If they're not repaired within 30 days, there is that possibility that NDOT or Federal Highway can close our road. We're working with the Sheriff's Department to get the police report. I'm working with Rick Solly to try to get the insurance involved with that and get the funding back for that, for the damages, and that they can pursue and get those damages taken care of, so it's not a taxpayer burden that it will be otherwise. So just wanted to update you on that. As soon as I get the engineer's estimate and the nod, we will go ahead with those repairs and hope the funding catches up later. So in the past, we've kind of waited and tried to pursue some of that later, and a lot of that never has worked out. So time to do what needs to be done. So, and that's all I've got. Unless you guys have any questions for me, I'll keep this speedy meeting on the roll.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. Mr. Pittman,
You can call me Mike.
Michael, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Michael's.
Michael.
Michael's on the go trouble.
It's a little step below Mr. Pittman, Michael. That's right.
Come with a couple things. Other than the bid. Guys, I think you've already gotten this. This is our announcement on our stormwater and floodplain workshop we're having at the fairgrounds at the end of the month. I'll make sure the county calendar gets the bottom line here. Already got the press. But it's, we've got Doug Wagner from DNR coming down. And he's the guy that really put together the floodplain maps. He's got the most information. But this is really a public meeting, and we're not gonna try to make it real technical. So if you get technical, I'll start asking questions and we'll go over that. But I think it's a good opportunity for everybody to hear a little bit about our stormwater project, David, and then also hear about the new floodplain maps that are available for everybody. So they're a lot easier to read, so. But why I'm here tonight is the American with Disabilities bid and Title VI bids that we got. We advertised it and received back 2 bids. I think you have both of those. Quite a cost variation as well as a time variation. And I think it's pretty time sensitive. We try to get this bid done or get this project done this year. What I'm leaning towards is the lower cost one, but not so much for lower cost, but more for the survey aspect and the report back on what they feel we need to do as a county. to help meet the requirements for Title VI and ADA. So the other one is really a great program for, I think, almost a full year, but we don't have a full year. So I would like to get this done, hopefully, by September, October, which is the first bid from HWC, gives us that, HWC engineering. City of Madison did use them, and very good results, very good success with. So I did not check into DLC. So just let you guys know. But I like the way they phrased it, not to exceed, actually.
Right, I noticed that.
And I think that's important for us. The not to exceed, and he thinks he can come in under that number. I think his not to exceed was 10,000, if I remember right.
Thoughts, gentlemen?
We go this way.
Mike's recommendation is HWC, right?
That's correct.
Didn't get on.
I will make a motion, HWC Engineering for this contract. And 10,000,
Not to exceed.
not to exceed 10,000.
ADA transition. I second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Thank you, sir.
Roll forward, Mike.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, we do.
The meeting that I gave you there starts at 5 o'clock. And then I met with the soil and water folks Monday night. And Kristen assured me there will be snacks. I can't tell you what the snacks are yet. There will be snacks. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, next we have a CERC appointment, which is short for Southeastern Indiana Regional Planning Commission. And we have an opening, and Mike Pittman has graciously offered to serve in that, so I would entertain a motion to accept him.
Move we accept the nomination for Mike Pittman to the Southeastern Indiana Regional Planning Commission as the Jefferson County representative for the term that will end 31 December 2023.
Okay, have a motion, have a second.
Second.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Welcome aboard. Okay, is Troy? Troy's not here. We've heard from Bobby. Is anybody else out there to you? All right,
Erica's in the way.
Erica.
Okay, so, I gave all of you guys kind of a little packet here that you can look at, your first page. The first page is a map that Spectrum and Charter Solutions has provided, the broadband task force with. That map, you'll see, red lines around certain areas, and that is just, how they are labeling, the areas that they will send out permits to. So, the southern, guess that would be the most southwestern portion that on your map would be including Volga and Smyrna, that area. That's the first area that, has submitted a permit, for them to be doing some work. Most of the work that they're gonna be doing, a little bit of boring, a little bit of trenching, on the shoulder of North 600 West in Madison. So before all of this broadband, work was started, when we became a broadband ready community, we also passed that right-of-way ordinance, and there's a packet that they have. They've been filling out that packet, and they've been submitting that to myself and the highway department. That way we know what areas they're gonna be working in on schedule. So that area that I just mentioned, The estimated project start date is 6/1/2023. And then the estimated project completion date is 7/31/2023. Then they've already submitted another application for their right-of-way permit. And that address location will be West Dawson Smith Road. So there is some cutting and boring that they will have to do in an easement to be building out the fiber optic lines there. The estimated project start date for that area is 7/1/2023. And then the estimated project completion is 8/31/2023. In that whole subject encompassing right-of-ways, something that was not really addressed in the beginning when we had meetings with them, and my ignorance on how you go about boring and trenching and putting out fiber. Something that did get brought up was, they are called, I want to make sure I say this correctly, power supply. So this, I'm quoting this. Part of building fiber infrastructure includes setting a power supply. They are about 3.5 feet tall, 2 feet wide, and 1.5 feet deep. They will be including the location with permits, or Spectrum will be including the location of where we can find these boxes with the permits. Usually it is set next to a pole with a transformer for power. So just something to note for the public moving forward whenever they're putting this infrastructure in Jefferson County. You will see those, yay, big boxes. And that's just part of the process. So moving forward from the map and that explanation, there's also an event that we have some key stakeholders in Jefferson County that are invited to. We have our county commissioners that are going to be on the panel. So I've included a list of all the people that are invited and so far that have RSVP'd to that event that's supposed to take place on the 23rd. Also, there's a draft of the panelist questions. That way you guys that are going to be on that panel, you can kind of look and see what Spectrum and the other people on the panel are going to be discussing. That way no one's asking you a question that you're really not prepared for. That's about it as far as broadband goes. Concerning the revolving loan fund, right now we only have one applicant that has submitted all of their documents. The current balance right now is $27,568.38. And that opportunity is still open. It'll be open until June 2nd at noon. And then after that, there will be some time, a full week for you guys to score those applicants and announce that at your next public commissioners meeting. Lastly, there is an archivist that is in training currently in the commissioner's office, and that's running smoothly. So I think that's about all that I have for right now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, and I'm gonna have Renisha come up here and go over some additional broadband information for the public.
Just a couple of quick things. We'll start with the important thing first. So the state, there's enough for all these. You guys, I'll start over here. You could each take one and you can leave the extras on my chair there. So the state has, with their consultant, Guidehouse to help them form the state broadband plan that will be, essentially their plan on how they're gonna disperse the BEAD money that is going to be allocated to them soon, or already has been for the plan. And then the portion that is for like infrastructure projects, that is gonna be starting to allocate once their plan is approved. So those listening sessions, which you were sent invites to, and so the one that's happening in Switzerland County, in VV on the 25th, would be the one for our region and some of the other surrounding, our neighboring counties to Jefferson. That they've kind of been having low turnout. So what I just handed you is a survey that is for officials and for the public. Everybody needs to take this because frankly, you know, just with them kind of sending out these invites kind of late, you know, you guys have a very full schedule. So they, with them inviting a lot of public officials, they're just not really getting the turnout that they really need to inform this plan. And this was my solution to help make up for that. Because it's really, really important that we get our voices out about what are the issues that we're seeing with broadband, with internet connectivity in our region, in our communities. Sorry, I'm thinking region because it's RPC, but and you can speak about Jefferson in particular, and all the other communities within, and what works well, what doesn't, what is your wish list? That's, I think, would be a very, very important thing. There is a question on there that would ask, what kind of broadband programs do you want to see? What kind of digital inclusion programs do you want to see? I think the more that the state hears that repeating, and those things, the stronger that they are seeing like, oh, this is something that our communities really, really need and want, and should be something that would hopefully have them put it in their plan. But also, of course, it's more important so is the optics. The more that we engage with them, as they've been saying, the more we engage, the greater your odds of, you know, being able to influence what broadband money we hope to bring here. So please take some time. It literally just takes a few minutes. You can make your answers as long or short as you want. Take it yourselves, tell everybody in your family, your friends, everyone you know that is in Jefferson County or a neighboring county to within our region to take it. I will summarize the input and provide it to the state at that session and other sessions moving forward, in lieu of people that are not able to attend. It is very important. So just, you know, 5 minutes can really make all the difference cumulatively. It'll make a really, really great showing. So thank you all on that part. And then, oh, really, one last thing is more fun one. Raise your hand if you have any school age grandkids or college age. All right, I'm gonna get these. Please pass these to them. Anybody in our audience? So what this is a logo contest for the task force because they you know, need something a little bit official to really put their mark on things when in the future moving forward, when we have events that the task force is sponsoring and just other things. So but they want to extend the opportunity to our county students. So that's everything from kindergarten up to college age, to create a logo for the county. So if you look on this flyer, there's a QR code here, and you can scan that on your phone and it'll take you to a link. It is a Google form to fill out, to read the rules about the contest and see what the criteria is for the logo design, and then submit an entry form, which if that is for any students who are under age 18, which would be probably the majority of the schools, they'll have a parent signature. Otherwise, for our probably like seniors on up, can do it without parent signature. Submit those entries, and the first place winner will get $200 on a gift card to Amazon. Second place is 100. Third place is 50. So, you know, never hurts to shoot your shot. So, all right, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Well, next would be, does anybody from the public have anything? Yes, sir.
Just a question, I'm not sure, but on that, on the low program, you have to pay for a license?
Yeah.
Now, is that a license that you have to pay per email user? Or is
No,
it,
so it's one cost for the county for all the modules.
I know sometimes when they sell a license, they don't want you to sell it to some, or give it to somebody else, and they'll charge you for each email
Right.
address.
No,
That's why I asked for all licenses to include.
yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have anything before we close? Gentlemen, yeah, either,
No. I do not.
There are updates on stormwater management, and it's getting reviewed by a little bit larger team, so. This couple of weeks, we should have a finalized plan ready to move forward and start shoot for something in the middle of the summer to have that.
okay. Okay, hearing none, I'd entertain.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I second that.
All those in favor signify by aye.
Uh,